Hello, Rebel GMan 10F. Welcome back. We are back here with another week of recaps. It's a double episode, so we'll be looking over week 4 and 5 of this division. I am once again joined by McNugget.
Hello, Division 10F.
And I just want to say sorry, before we go any further, for missing week 4s. Unfortunately, for those who are unaware, I did put this in Discord, but just in case you missed the announcement, sadly my partner's grandma died last week, and it's just been a bit of a mess, really, planning the funeral and things, and helping out around with the family and stuff, so we just haven't had the time or the mental space to get into it. So we're back now. And, you know, it's not going to happen again, so, you know, there should be very few excuses for further disruption in service. We're going to look quickly over the results from the last couple of weeks. Now, you'll already see when we jump in. They've played. The Arrogant Bar Stewards have taken on From the Stars, so we'll pretend that hasn't happened while we're looking at the rest of the division. I've got to say, there's not many people high scoring here, is there? They're all 2-1s and 0-0.
It seems very meta Blood Bowl play. This could be the try-hard division.
It's try-harding, is it? Well, in week 4, we saw the Furry Harem take a 2-0 over the Contract Killers. Good old Bernie didn't do the business.
No, sadly, Bernie, team killer Buffon, let me down. I expect better next time, Bernie, or admin abuse will happen to you.
Rarimbo's Orcs went 1-0 over the Rebel Vikings. We did say that was very possible to happen because Wood Elves don't tend to like being punched.
Yes, we did think an awful lot of these games were going to be very close.
I mean, to be fair, there's only a couple that have not been close. That was Angry Altman taking a 2-0 over the Tabard Tellers, and only Fools and Hobgoblins beating Tommy Wise Owls directed by me 2-0, which is a little bit rough. Otherwise, From the Stars taking a draw is quite a surprise.
Yep, definitely from the Stars. Also, we'll look at leaderboard in a bit, but one of the teams near the top pushing for the play in positions. So yeah, that was a big loss. It was a bit of a surprise to ourselves. So obviously, both coaches playing really well there and just cancelling each other out a bit.
Yeah, and speaking of both, coaches cancelling each other out, 2-1 from the Rat Rebel versus Arrogant Bar Stewards. We said that one was going to be a close one because there's a lot of Agi4 being thrown around, and it can kind of go either way, and it went in the favour of the Rat Rebel, which we will probably see represented more closely on the leaderboard in just a moment. But we'll go to week 5, and there was a fat 0-0 from the Stars and the Tabard Tellers. That's actually the second draw in a row that From the Stars pulled out.
Yep. Definitely. Don't know if it's just a sign of the other teams catching up on SPP or From the Stars just dropping it in a bit of a lull, picking up losses, but it's still points on the board, it's not losses, so obviously still
Speaking of points on the board, directed by me, holding Fairy Harem to a draw has got to feel pretty good if you're Tommy Wiseau, because Fairy Harem being one of the favourites of the division, that's a big draw to pull out from Tommy.
Definitely. Undead versus Skaven isn't always a big favour to the Undead themselves.
It can also not be a favour to the Skaven. It really depends on how hard the mummies hit, I find.
Yeah. And also how good a job that the Whites are going to do on things. It does look, considering things, it's still quite a high SPP game for both teams. So it just seems there was an awful lot of passing going on, catching going on, and killing going on, and no scoring.
Speaking of killing, good old Bernie took a 2-1 against the Arrogant Bar Stewards. They've had a bit of a torrid time recently, unfortunately, as far as results have gone. Poor Rugbot not getting the rub of the green.
Yeah, high elves do have that ability. Also, starting with very few basic skills, they are the most susceptible to a slow start out the elf teams. But the longer the season goes on, the more SPP gets on them, the better they'll get. So always in with a shout there.
Yeah, you can never really look away from elves. And Rebel Vikings, talking about elves, Rebel Vikings going down 2-1 to Angry Alma in an elf off. It's got to feel pretty good for Angry Alma. That's a couple of big wins, and they were very low down on the table previously, so it's really going to be an interesting when we click over on the leaderboard to see how all of this has shook it up. And only fools and horses, hobgoblins, even fools and hobgoblins, holding down Varimbo's Orcs to a 1-1. A very dry week. Half the games were draws this week. That's certainly a result.
Yeah, this is a very close division. I think we spoke about it before.
I did predict that it was going to be very volatile, though. There was a lot of big names, and there was a lot of teams that are very, very good early as well in there. And
yeah,
I mean, look at it. Noru is top with 12 points, but that's joined with Crystal Hunter, who also
Noru, of course, played an extra game.
Yeah.
Noru has played his game this round at the moment as well. So yeah, those draws from Nora's definitely opened up the doors for Crystal Hunter, Keith Carr, Bernie Team Killer Buffon, and probably even as far down as the Salmon and Martin Septim. Looking at that,
Martin Septim's definitely sat happy on 9 points at this point, because the top of the division has only got 12. I mean, it all depends what Crystal Hunter does, but I did say watch this man, and he's gone 4-1. Only a point ahead of Keith Carr, though, who is his fellow Skaven running mate, as it were. Who these guys are tearing up this division with these rats.
Yep, definitely, and just hoping probably the rest of the division that the Bash teams and the Choff teams put some pain onto them and keep them honest with the rest of the division.
What is Bernie doing? Well, what Bernie's doing actually, he sat there on 10 points, actually going, you know what, I'm really quite close to this. It's fine. I can handle this too. I really can't call who is actually going through. The plane competition in this division is so incredibly tight.
Definitely, especially with this tier, like you said before. Also, a lot of very good coaches here, a lot of good early teams. There is no poor team, as it were, in this division. They're all very easily able to take points off each other. So I can see this definitely being a long, tight season for all the coaches and teams here.
Yeah, it's one of those that I think the guys at the top are almost hoping that the division ends sooner rather than later, because it's like I'm winning right now. Can we call the division can we call this for the day?
Not only that, but obviously the guys at the top, when they do play each other, they will probably be looking at, well, a draw is a lot better than a loss against somebody 1 point above or below me. So you'll find teams at the top playing safe for the draw, which then just lets those teams slightly below them catch them up even more by picking up wins. So if anything, expect to see coaches like the Salmon and Martin Septim and stuff to just keep pushing up and putting pressure on these top 4 coaches, because they'll be less likely to risk losing over drawing.
Yeah, it's like I say, there's terror across the board. It's rough being anyone in this division at the top. At the bottom, on the other hand, they get to not so much put their feet up, but they are very much in a different world where they can look at this and go, let's just get some development. Let's get ourselves start looking towards next year. You know, we're 5 weeks in. We're halfway there. This is the as they call it, the hump day. Exact middle, week 6. So, you know, if you are JP Casey, Raijin, Arashi, Hargrim, or Rugbart, maybe even as far as Rurimbo and Tommy, although Rurimbo with 6 points isn't completely out, and Tommy with 5 still actually in with a shout. You know, it might be time to start looking at matches and go, do I sacrifice for a win, or do I start to look towards develop my team for next season? And that's when you start doing fun things like handing off to mummies or things like that.
Or do you go, damn those rats, I'm going to fill them to death and ruin their team?
But no, because that's just mean. Although Skaven deserve it, so...
Yeah, so...
50-50. Little from column A, little from column B. We're going to do a deep dive into the teams, because we haven't seen what they look like for a couple of weeks, so they're probably quite different. Especially in this division, because it started fresh. It didn't start with Greenhorn SPP. It'll be interesting to see how much, you know, in a couple of weeks you can develop quite a bit. And what happened in the first team we're looking at, directed by me, is You're Tearing Me Apart, hilariously, not hilarious if you're Tommy, but, you know, I found it quite comical, died. So it led to me messaging McNugget and going, oh dear, You're Tearing Me Apart got torn apart.
And me replying, he did not die.
Unfortunately, he did. Which is a bit rough.
Definitely a bit rough.
Speaking of a bit rough, I just want to jump into I did not hit her. Which, you know what? Right, his stats are almost making me believe it. Because in 4 matches and 26 blocks, he's broken armor 3 times.
Yep.
Although he did crowd surf someone, which was kind of cool. But that's quite good. Crowd surfing a dude with a movement 3 player. That's pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this also, Tommy Wiseau, sort your positionals out together. This hurts my head.
Lisa just randomly being slipped in down there is.
Well, Lisa does get slipped in, but yeah, definitely the mummy here. I did not hit her. You are kind of looking to try and get some SPP on that. The white as well, with 1 white out, that's going to be your predominant blitz threat. So hoping to get that level very soon, and obviously upon the next game, hopefully there's no more deaths for that, and you can get the 2nd white back in. But apart from that, he's getting SPP on the rest of the positionals. The Ghoul has picked up Sure Hands, which I'm a fan of. He's got a Dirty Player Zombie, which I'm a big fan of.
Big fan of the Dirty Player. Everyone betrayed me as he kicked you in the head.
And Lisa, the other Ghoul, is just 1 SPP away from level as well. So some levels pending, as it were, to come from this team.
Yeah, this team could, like I say, it could explode any time. If it has a couple of good games, we're going to come back in a couple of weeks, and it could be a lot different. Now, I'm more excited, sorry, Tommy, to look into Crystal Hunter's team, because he's doing very well in Division, yet has no level.
You mean Crystal Hunter's rookie team, as it appears, bar 3 levels?
How do you play 5 weeks with a team and have 4 level ups? And be winning the Division near enough.
Very well. Also not winning the Division yet, because...
Near enough. I did say near enough.
Yep, you know what? I just think I look at Crystal Hunter and say, Vermin's dude, get the.
Look, right,
I know how good a coach he is.
You can't tell us about what to do with rats, because this man is the CCL rat guy. He's also winning near enough the Division with a team with no skills. So, you know what, McNugget, just let the man do what the man wants to do. He's fine. we give him that, but I would like to see him level up some of his players, because Jesus, dude.
Although I quite like it, he's a nice quick review.
Yeah,
he's got no levels done.
You know, this team's crap. It's just...
Crystal, give us a team motto for next week, okay? Just spice it up a little.
You mean just so we've got something to talk about?
Yeah.
No, you know what? Right though, it might be working in this division, but it's a scary situation that you may be the playing coach one of the playing coaches that represents this div, and you're taking this team into planes. We're doing the business, and I'm not doubting that Crystal Hunter knows what he's doing with them, but you're gonna need some development to really throw down.
Yeah, I'm just saying I wouldn't hate to face that rat team in planes.
You'd love to face that, but you're not gonna make planes, so it's fine.
Oh really? Right. Moving on, JP Casey is up next with the Tabar Tellers. They are another team that is just 1 SPP here and there away on everyone.
But this team don't have excuses. JP Casey, you're playing elves, throw passes. Give the ball to the miller, toss the ball to the knight, toss the ball next turn to the summoner, and then toss the ball to anyone you want, right? You will do well if you start chucking passes.
Basically that. Next game is what I would like to see happen there from JP Casey. Dark Elves need the skills. You need the Blodge Blitzers to bully the other teams. You've got Mighty Blow, which is great. You've got a Wrestle Witch, which is great as well.
He's got 11 players. You've
got Kick, which is very good. Dodge on a lineman.
I like it.
I'm a fan of the block. I'm a fan of the block.
I'll tell you for why, right? Right. Dodge on a lineman is, unless your opponent has block, dodge on a lineman is as good as being blodge.
No, because dodge block works offensively and defensively.
But that's what I'm saying. Defensively, dodge on a lineman. If your opponent doesn't have block, you might as well have blodge, because they would have to both down to end their turn to hurt you, right? But on elves, who like to reposition a lot, they need to get away from the line of scrimmage, or the fight, or whoever's marking them, and dodge just helps. Dodge is better as a first skill on elves than block, and I will fight you because I'm a wood elf coach, and I've done it for years.
Yeah, but this isn't a wood elf team, that's the difference. This is a dark elf team.
Okay, so you lose 1 point. I'm talking about that wood elf lineman. They're only 1 point of movement faster.
It's still block.
It's dodge. It's dodge. I like it.
Block.
Just in case you ignore him, he's an idiot. It's fine.
No, it's block.
Moving
Anyway,
on. Let's get angry at
Noru.
Noru for a bit because he got that goal. Although, frankly, he's doing pretty well and the development is coming along nicely. He's got a pair of blocks on his werewolves. One of them's an single SPP away from level, which is really good. He clearly isn't struggling to feed SPP into them because the new werewolf is leveling up. I think that's the Shrieker, actually, isn't it? Isn't that the... Or was it Thing from the Stars that was the second wolf?
Thing from the Stars has played 6 matches,
Yeah, so
and the Shrieker has played 3 matches. So the Shrieker got an MVP, a pass, and 3 touchdowns in 3 matches. So
yeah, like I say, he's doing the right thing. He might have took a goal, but he's feeding the SPP into the werewolf. I like that player. I do.
Yep. Definitely as well. I like Dirty Player on the first zombie as well that leveled.
Big fan.
Obviously, the Flesh Golem ideally picks up an MVP, takes block next, and you're probably looking at tackle or guard on the other white.
Yeah, it depends what you've got to play, I think. Guard is great because you don't get a ton of guard on a Necro team, but if you really need to tackle...
I also think it depends on what the Shrieker or Thing from the Stars rolls.
But if the Shrieker levels and doesn't get a double, it's probably tackle, right?
Yeah, which frees you to take guard on the other white.
Yeah.
Because Necro need guard to fight the Orc teams, the Chorf teams, the Bash teams, and also to stop 1 and 9 from frenzy traps.
Very, very true. Moving on to Oslo Snake Club, kind of a quieter one. We've not really seen as much coming out of this team as we have, as we would have maybe hoped, but it's getting there. It's slow development, but it's steady development. Dive and tackle and a Black Hawk. That's I like it. It's bold, but
I don't. It's block.
Right.
It's block.
Yeah,
it's
it
block.
Really is, isn't it? It's block. No, but you know what?
I don't care what you're going to say. It's block.
If
End
that's
of
a third skill or a fourth skill, it's brilliant. As a first skill, you've just really delayed block. That being said, when he does get block and stand firm and guard on that player, it's going to be true terror.
It's never going to survive that long, though.
I mean, they do. Blackhawks are really survivable.
I not do like block. They're not.
The rushing guard on the other one is not a bad choice. We saw a lot of success coming out of Walkathon in the Big O about 3 or 4 seasons ago with his Astrorks, who all rushed guard first. So I kind of like to see that. It's not the usual, because the usual is to just take block on everything, but it's not a bad call, you know.
I would like to see a 12th player bot, so a third lineman to put in the LOS though.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be putting positionals on the line, even though you are armor 9. You don't want to be risking or giving up free blocks. So
sticking AV9 positionals on the line is a good way to lose positionals, even though they are AV9. Because a lot of teams will, even if they don't break armor on the punch, will follow up with a foul. And AV9s are a lot less useful when you're getting kicked in the head by 5 guys.
Definitely, and you've got the money to spend, so I would like to see a 12th player there.
That
also,
burger restaurant
12th
is
player
just mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, 12th player. I like that a lot. Good call. Good call. Moving on to the other Orc team, who is slightly more successful by dint of having 10 more TV, and that's with an MNG. It could just be because they've got a troll.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a way to deal with the extra guy. Throw a troll on the line.
They have taken block on their Black Hawk first, which is the right move.
The other Black Hawk is MNG. They've got Mighty Blow instead of guard on a Blitzer, which is going to hurt them if they are in an Orc off. Certainly, the other Orc,
True,
I would say, would be better suited.
I don't hate having Mighty Blow first, just to try and keep other teams a bit more honest. It also gives you a bit better chance at the removal game.
And it kind of turns up his personal development.
Yes.
Which is nice. Turns up to
definitely
like 11 maybe? No, it doesn't. It's better.
Elvin. But he does have an awful lot of positionals within MVPs or 1 or 2 SPP from leveling. So it's an Orc team that's, you know what I mean, maybe a game or 2 away from making that big jump into having a lot more block or a couple more guard, and kind of takes it up to the more solid spectrum of bash control.
When those mushrooms just sprout, you mean?
Yes.
So it's a Warhammer reference. Now we're going to jump into good old Bernie, the team killer Buffon, as you so enjoy calling him.
My man, Bernie, team killer Buffon.
You know what, when we looked at Crystal Hunters, we were like, how is this team doing so well with no skills?
Yeah, this is Chorse, so Chorse do well.
Player number 15, by the by. You've got
Bernie, my hero, team killer Buffon. That is, if that Hobgoblin doesn't get dirty player, I am kicking you out the league.
GMan 10F, 10F. You've got a name on a hit list, boys. Kill it, kill it dead.
Guard first level on a Hobgoblin was very nice as well.
God, you love when your Hobgoblins roll doubles, right?
Yeah.
Because you know what? If you go from, you're not trash anymore, you're actually a player I care about.
Exactly. And again, just it looks like the MVPs are dropping on the Hobgoblins.
Yeah, but when the MVPs are giving you guard, I mean, you're okay with that.
It's not terrible. Just having a quick look to see what he has to stay. So he's not taking any deaths for that yet. So the
man after your own heart, take a mighty blow first on a blocker rather than guard. If the next one doesn't roll doubles, I feel like he needs guard.
I don't know. There's not an awful lot of guard in this division.
Yeah, but there's a couple of orcs who are already a lot of strength 4s.
True. Basically, Bernie, in my opinion, this team's just 3 or 4 games. You just got to pray for the MVPs really on the Chorse and hopefully play some agility that you can rack up some Kaz against to try and get yourself a couple of SPP here and there. Obviously, next game, hoping to level one of the bulls at least would be my thoughts there. And hopefully get Kaz, just get them both going as well, a bit more self-sustainable. But what can I say, Mel? Bernie has got an excellent name and theme. He is the team killer Buffon, and he is my pick for the division.
He's doing well as well, to be fair, the div, which is, again, it's super interesting to me that 2 of the better teams in the div have almost 0 development. Oof. Oof. Yeah. My God, this team is spreading the AV6. It's not good. There was, last time we looked at them, there was 1 AV busted lineman and 1 AV busted war dancer, and now there's an extra AV. But it's spreading.
It's not good.
I also really, I'm sorry, Hargrim, I don't like movement up on Vitzerk. I don't. It's a Wood Elf lineman. He doesn't need to be movement 8. I'm afraid he needs block or dodge. He needs dodge. Fact.
He needs dodge.
Strong element of throw is really good though. You got to be happy with that.
It's very good. You kind of want a catcher though to take advantage of that.
Well, I think you had one, and I think it didn't do very well.
Did that?
It may have had a bad time.
How much are catchers? 110k though. You can buy.
They're a lot cheaper. They're about 80 or 90. But here's the thing: you don't blow a bank like that on Wood Elves till you've got 150 in the bank, especially when you need kinda to replace a War Dancer and you haven't got your tree yet, and you're only on 2 rerolls. Like
I don't know if this team takes the tree anymore
to spend.
I also don't think this team takes the tree anymore.
It always takes the tree. You always take the tree.
I think it starts with it, but I don't think you can afford to save up and then drop it on the tree.
You can't really super afford to start with a tree a lot of the time. I think it needs a tree, and the reason it needs a tree is because trees stop linemen from dying. That is a fact. That is a stone cold Wood Elf fact. If you have a tree, your linemen have a longer life expectancy. I used to have a link that did the maths. Like, it was based on every Wood Elf that was ever played in Fumble ever, and they proved statistically that a lineman's average life expectancy went up by like 5 games or something if the team hired a tree.
Yeah, but these linemen aren't in a division with Bernie team killer Buffon.
Well, yes, but
you laugh at your life statistics.
He might be a team killer, but he's not a tree killer.
Not yet. Not yet.
Exactly.
Wait till you buy one.
He can't kill a tree. Exactly. Ooh, Angry Altma coming through with a nice skill up on Manny Marco. Mighty blow there. Very nice. Lineman with wrestle, lineman with tackle, and a block dodge, a blodge catcher. It's not huge on the develop, but it's got more in the right place than some of the other ones we've seen, certainly. And that Mighty blow on the blitz is super good. You're so happy with that, right?
Yeah. Now, bearing in mind, this is the high elf team that has taken 3 deads. So Martin has done a really good job rebuilding this up to getting it to this stage.
This doesn't look like a team that's had 3 deaths, to be honest.
Yeah, remember the 5 SPP Blitzer died, and then I'm pretty sure the thrower died.
I've got to respect that. The man is putting work in, and it's paying off. You can tell probably that he's had 3 deaths because he's got 10k in the bank, which is a scary place to be an elf.
Yeah, but a necessary one sided at this stage. He's got lineman fodder. He's got realistically 2 positionals to protect in the Mighty Blow Blitzer and the Blodge Catcher. So I assume the next game or 2 you'll be trying to level that thrower up with some vanity passing and trying to score me once or twice on the Blitzer.
Yeah, desperately needs to get the other Blitzer leveled. Let Mighty Blow Blitzer just blitz everything every turn now. The team's looking like it could explode really soon. I'm a big fan of how Martin's working through there. Looking over at Rugbart, who we know has had a less good. I still love the fact that number 12 just doesn't fit. Because Metal can't pronounce elf names, I renamed all of them apart from this one that I didn't rename. That Metal can't pronounce. It doesn't really jive with his lack of results. Rugbart, it sounds like you've been having a rough time, mate, because your team's really nice. I don't like block first on the catcher. I'll give you that. That should be dodge. Everything else is really good.
He doesn't have block first on a catcher. Oh, on the bottom one. I don't hate it. I mean, the other catcher has wrestle.
Gon Musidon Kavavanlun. It's the Kavava. I don't want to say it because it's got Kavava. Like Vavavu.
Kavavan. If anything, it does give it a bit more protection, and obviously being down to 20k and...
Yeah, it's another high elf with no money in the bank. I thought high elves were supposed to be rich, dude.
Nah, man, they just roll stats, die, and have no bank.
I meant in the law, but, you know, it's a nice looking team. Might blow a Blitzer again. And the fact that it's called Metal, yeah, okay, it's clearly better than Bernie's team.
Yeah, Bernie, kill that Blitzer, please. Couple of players that touched down away.
He's clearly due to kill McNaughton is awesome.
No, I'm thinking McNaughton the Hobgoblin is going to break that Blitzer's legs.
It'll be interesting to see. I don't know if they've played yet.
I will have a quick look in the history.
They have. They played last week, so unfortunately went in Bernie's favour, but they didn't kill each other. So that's good. I live for a while yet. Now we're going to jump into the Chorf team, the other Chorf team, only Fulls and Hobgoblins. Now this is a developed Chorf team. Wow.
This is a Chorf team that has obviously got the MVPs in the right places.
They have been having their Weetabix, McNugget.
Yep. I'll let you discuss the Bill Centaurs. Well, one of them.
I don't need to discuss that. I think both of them are fine. Dodge on a Bull Centaur? I like it. I like Dodge on a Bull Centaur.
Okay.
I do, because
he has got two.
You can. It gives you so many choices because you're taking break. You're taking break tackle on them, so
you're not taking break tackle next, though.
No, you're taking block next, obviously, but you're taking break tackle down the road. And my point is, if you know you're going to be building players with the aim to use dodges when needed, making those dodges more reliable isn't a bad thing.
No, but also, what do you build them as? So your Blodge break tackle to 31. I mean, you're then waiting again.
Guard, and you're a big, monstrous, mobile, just block that just goes, "Hi, get rid of me." Ever.
It's nice. It's a long way away, though.
It is.
The only.
And there's almost nothing on it that helps you level up either, which is a pain.
Yeah,
but exactly. It's one of those players that you've definitely got to have an idea for. Maybe you turn it into the ball carrier. Maybe you go block.
No. Take that back. You never make Bill's ball carrier.
No, I agree. I don't like doing it, but I mean, we don't know how the Salmon plays.
Salmon, you don't make it a ball carrier. I will batter him if he takes.
To be fair, look at him.
Sure hands.
He's in a fresh div and has a lot of levels in the right places. It's a good looking team.
There's too much guard there for my liking. Salmon, mighty blow all the way, son.
I like it. Salmon, I do. Yeah. Moving onwards, because
it's a very strong Chorf team, definitely.
I want to see if Keith has any level ups because the other one doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Look, this is what a rat team looks like if you level up its players.
it has one thing that I know you don't like, and we say this every review.
I'm not even. It's, you know what, right? Not only has it got a rat ogre, its first skill's guard. What? What? How have you given guard to it? Why has it not got Juggernaut? I don't understand. I just, you know what? Talk about the team. I'm out. I'm tapping out on this one. I just don't understand.
Before Metal has an aneurysm, some standard leveling up on the gut runner, so obviously a wrestle one, a block one, and a mighty blow storm vermin. Sadly, didn't roll doubles its first level, but I'm sure Keith will be hoping that it rolls that very handy claw at 16 SPP.
It is only 4 SPP away though, so it's pretty close.
Yep.
And even tap is quite nice.
Yep. And the other storm vermin itself is only 2 SPP as well away from a level. He does have a kick lineman, which is very good for controlling your opponents. And
very good on a fast team.
Another gutter runner there at the bottom, which Keith is going to fix and have all the positionals together for next week.
I bet he isn't.
Keith, do it for me because I don't mind the rat ogre, unlike Mel.
You know what, right? Like, it's
moving on.
It's a rat ogre with guard.
Moving on.
Let's just leave that at that. We're going to look at the schedule coming up now. We already know the result from the Stars and Arrogant Bar Stewards, so if you don't want a spoiler, well, sorry, it's here. Furry Harem taking on only Foals and Hobgoblins. I don't know how that was going to play out.
Rats versus the big mean chorfs. I could see...
In fact, I do know how it's going to play out. It's just rats are going to explode.
Possibly. Following that, we've got the Angry Altmer versus...
I'm giving that one to only Falls, by the by. Although Keith and the Furry Harem have proven time and again that I keep underestimating them, so...
This is a 2nd versus 6th position game as well.
Yeah,
so it will be a game that Salmon will be going, big win here, puts him right up in the mixer.
It does. It really does. The Rat Rebel taking on the Contract Killers. Now that is going to be a game. It's 2 matches this week, is Skaven versus Chorfs, but this one is super. I mean, no offense to the other two, but this one is possibly the most important game this week.
This is Bernie Team Killer Buffon versus Crystal, who needs level ups Hunter. The good news
Crystal
is
Vanilla Hunter.
Crystal level up Hunter.
Crystal Meth Hunter. At this point, I think.
Crystal, where's the ball, Hunter?
Crystal, where's the skill ups, Hunter? No, it's getting sillier and sillier. This one again is gonna go.
Crystal SPP Hunter. Yes,
yes. It only took us half an hour. It's fine. We got there in the end. But no, it's again gonna go just like the other one. If the Chorfs hit hard and the AV7 doesn't hold, it's gonna be a bad day for Rats. If the Rats can stay strong, it could be a bad day for Chorfs because there's not a lot of development on the Chorf teams, on this Chorf team specifically for Bernie, to really leverage a small advantage. If he doesn't get a big advantage from removals, not having only being kind of on par for players on the pitch, there's not enough skills on the team really to overly leverage that for a win, and it could turn into a draw or a loss for him very quickly if he doesn't get those removals.
Yeah, this is one of those games when I'm saying that the teams at the top possibly playing for the safe draw over the loss that allows those below them to jump up. So you can almost see a point where Bernie Team Killer Buffon and Crystal SPP Hunter draw, and the Salmon, if he beats Furry Harem, can then leapfrog them.
That would almost change the face of the division quite a bit because it's closer than you might think, and especially because Angry Altmer it's a game that he can't underestimate either because Oslo Snake Club. I mean, Angry Altmer's got a lot of momentum behind him from the last couple of wins, and
also Snake Club have that dive and tackle Black Orc though.
Hey, I tell you what, right? I almost want to watch that game just to see if dive and tackle does a thing.
Right. Okay.
Because if it does, like, I feel like you owe me a $5 or something.
Here's what I'll do. If that diving tackle kills an elf...
Kills? That's a bit far.
Okay, if that diving tackle perms an elf, I will admit on stream that I was totally wrong about it.
How about if that diving tackle works?
No, because it's an elf and everyone forgets about diving tackle.
Yeah, but diving tackle only works when you know it's there. If you forget about it, it's a fake skill.
No, if it perms an elf...
I feel like you're cheating. I feel like you're cheating. but okay.
Oh.
And otherwise, directed by me, Rebel Vikings, Rainbow Orcs, and Tabard Tellers. I kind of feel like these matches, I don't want to talk them down a little bit, but I think it's where we were talking about, you know, we're coming up to mid-season. Maybe these are the games where these guys are looking to just take it a bit slower, try and find some SPP where they can, get some levels, get themselves settled for next season.
Well, the age-old tell is always you don't get more SPP than when you're scoring. So, if anything, it possibly promotes a bit more aggression from those coaches to get quick, fast scores and then turn their opponents over. So, I would hope to see the teams, instead of possibly stalling it out, going a bit more aggressive to get that development into their teams. And who knows? I mean, they could easily go on a good 4 or 5 game run, and with a few draws above them, be still within a playoff position.
Yeah, we don't need no. If you've been watching 10A's recaps, we don't need the other. We don't need JPKC to take a note out of thank you parents and go for the draw machine.
Yeah, the other Dark Elf team are 4 draws and then ruined it by getting a loss.
I'm sure they
hopefully we way to get the second loss though.
But anyway, that pretty much the end of this coverage. If you did enjoy it, of course we went back to focus on the coaches. The reason for that is because we had 2 weeks to cover rather than 1, and I really don't want to go above like 40 minutes, so that's what we're aiming for, and I feel like we might push ourselves a little bit too far there. So we're going to call it a day here. If you've enjoyed watching, thank you very much. Good luck to everyone playing the games. Do remember that this is the Christmas week. So this is actually 2 weeks long, this round. So you've got a solid 14 days from today, from the time of recording this, to play your games, which is nice. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever religious ceremony of choice you observe at Christmas this time of the year. If indeed you do, have a good one, guys. Thank you once again, McNugget, for joining us.
Thank you for having me again, and see you again next time.
Yeah. You all stay classy, folks. You saw your ass last time. After fail last time. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy the Christmas and stuff, and we'll see you after Christmas for the Week 6 recap.